homie.
Hey, hey. What's up? What's up? Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey. So, as you see, I don't know if you saw the title of the video, but I want to kind of talk a little bit about this whole thing about the angry black woman. Hi, Renee. What's up? What's up? What's up? So, yes. If you guys haven't seen the title, you know, we're gonna talk about the angry black woman. The main reason, hey girl, because mainly, I mean, you know by now, hey, that we for those that are into this type of thing, because some people may not be familiar or familiarize themselves with stuff that goes on in pop culture, but we all heard this, or a lot of us have heard what 50 Cent, the little clip that we saw of the exchange and conversation between 50 Cent and Lil Wayne. And so I thought, especially because last week we spoke about the black agenda, that it's important for us to talk about this because, in my opinion, hey Jason, the root of the black agenda, or at one of the foundation parts of the black agenda is the black woman. So I think that's important for us to talk about the black woman and this whole notion of an angry black woman. Girl, you is not working. So, yeah, I know. So I see, Jason, you said that was the ignorant comment on his part. But okay, so just a little background, right? Some years back, several years back, it is lunchtime. It's 12:30. It's officially lunchtime. So, but some years back, I was having a conversation with some of my good guy friends, and they were kind of saying this same thing, like, you know, that guys more so want this look, and what they were describing as like this look of being exotic, and what they were saying was beautiful, and then the reason why they wanted to be with those women, a lot of it came back to black women being angry. So I wanted to just talk about, like, I mean, and really I want to hear from the guys. Oop, sorry, my bad. Really, I do want to hear from the guys really a lot on this, about what you feel in regards to, one, I mean, we could talk about on a very specific level, like, do you agree with 50 Cent or not? But then also, like, the view of angry black women. Is that a real thing? Hey, hey. Hi, Meg. So, if there's any guys like Jason, okay, so you said that was an ignorant comment on his behalf. Why do you feel that was ignorant? What's a lot? Right. So I see Angie said they call us angry because we don't take their shit. There is an initial perception of angry. Okay. Why? You know, because Is it anger? Okay, so going back, so 50 was saying that the women were saying, like, they come to him and they're like, oh, you always with an other, but the other is exotic. The other is something that you can't get. It doesn't look like all the rest of the shit in the neighborhood. Okay, but does that make it better? I mean, it's different, and everyone has to have can have a preference. So I saw a lot of people in the comments like, oh, that man can have a preference if he wants to. Of course, we all can have a preference. I think that there are some angry black women, but I also think there are some angry white women. Okay, equal opportunity. I think there are some people, I think some people look at small sample size and everyone with the few interactions that they've had. I guess what makes them angry though? Like, so what makes the angry black woman? Because just like Angela said a little while ago, is it anger or is it like accountability? It may not be anger, but there is standoffish nature, probably due to trying to eliminate the do-nothings and the lames. Okay? I believe women can become angry, but standing tall and stating what your standards are shouldn't be angry. Okay, I see you say, I mess with 50. Let's be honest. When 50 was in a black and healthy relationship, what happened? What was the rest of it? That anger is the spirit that the black woman has that no other woman possesses. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay. So, can we do this? I don't know if you guys, I'm put you on the spot. Can I add you gentlemen one at a time to speak to this? Can I do that? Would you be okay with that? Because I think that it's important. We need to hear from black men. We need to hear the perspective. And I think black men need to hear our perspective too, because nobody wants to be labeled as angry. It has a negative connotation. So I think that, yeah. Okay, Jason, request to be in the lives. Let's start with Jason. Let's start with you. When black women express any emotion, is always deemed too much. Exactly. What I heard from my friends while I wait for Jason, what I heard from my friends was that the other women, because, you know, to me, some of the women that they're describing are black, but these other women, they're taught to be submissive, that they have a different temperament, that they cater, that they treat the men differently. Is that really a real thing? And that's kind of what I wanted to discuss. And why, when we question a black man kind of highlighting or promoting a certain look of a woman, are we angry for that? Because we question that, because we challenge that. Why does that make us angry or bitter or jealous or any of those things, right? So, okay, so let's see. See if I can go. Okay, so I sent you the request, Jason. So just hearing it from those who don't want you or have an appetite for you. Okay, so why is it when Hispanic woman is angry is considered spicy? Exactly, Faiza. That's the thing. Like, why is the label that our expression of emotion is angry? Is angry, and how do you undo that? Okay. All right, so Jason, says that you're not able to join. Okay, we'll try it again, Jay. So, black women anger is labeled that, but it's the very essence of a queen. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that? Goes back to them not having the appetite. Hi, Kev. There is a reason why Storm from the X-Men controls the weather. Hilarious. Other women are sexualized while we're demonized. Big facts. Jason, you gotta figure out this live business. Okay. I think it all starts with the man. They put it into women's heads. It's our job to keep being who we are. Exactly. I guess what I'm trying to get at, okay, so it's not about 50 Cent or any of them or Lil Wayne or anyone having a preference, because we can all have preferences, right? You can like tall people, you can like guys with braids, you can like bald heads, you can like guys with beards, you could like women who have big boobs, or you have like slender women. Those are preferences. Those are preferences. And like I said, you know, this whole notion of exotic, it's fine if you like a certain look of a woman, but then to say that black women, for challenging why you feel that you need to have that, what about that makes us angry? What about that? That's my question. So yeah, anybody else? Jason is having some difficulties. Let's see. I guess because what is important is like, okay, so let me just go for this. The Black Lives Matter movement, right? It started by 3 black women, right? And what their main focus at the time was protecting mostly, not only, but black men who were experiencing brutality at the hands of the police. And black women, so it's okay for us to use our anger then. It's okay for us to be on the front lines, for us to defend you, to uplift you, to support you, to be on the front lines with standing arm in arm, where our anger is supported then. But when I spice you up in a relationship, I'm angry. And that's my question. Like, what is the difference? What's the disconnect? What's the disconnect? Of course, I believe that that the anger is mislabeled. 1,000%. 1,000%. The anger mislabeled term is used too often. Agreed. So I guess what I'm trying to get some of the guys, because I know the ladies got a lot of comments. I get considered crazy or angry when I'm mad, but the thing is, I call it passionate for what I believe. Right. Is there anyone, I guess I should start by asking, that believes that black women have an issue with anger? Do you believe that black women are angry? Instead of using the word angry, why not passionate or unique? I agree with you. I think, you know, I'm sorry. People blurring the lines. A preference is one thing. You believe black women are angry? Yes, I believe black women are angry. Okay, I see. I'm swole yogi. Okay, why? Every human being has anger issues throughout their life. It's human nature, hon. Okay. I'm not saying that we don't have emotion, but remember, there's a phrase called the angry black woman. I don't hear a phrase that's coined the angry white woman or the angry Latino woman. I hear the angry black woman, and that becomes a thing. Hey.
What's going on?
What's up? Can you hear me? You can hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, question for you. Do you believe that black women, the whole term of the angry black woman?
Do I believe that?
No.
Hold on. I still on guard, but hold on 1 second.
You out.
All right, my check.
Yeah, we're here.
All right, cool. So, do I believe about the black woman being angry?
Mm-hmm.
No. I believe black women get frustrated and upset and get tired of us. But as far as the angry part, I haven't really dealt with a situation as far as an angry black woman based on something that I didn't do. You get what I'm saying? Now, I can see it cause and effect. I do something to become angry. But as far as a black woman being angry just because you gotta give more substance. Like me personally, what is an angry black woman? You get what I'm saying? So as far as like the statement 50 made, I ain't even heard it though, but I can't take substance from a man who hasn't been in a black healthy relationship for a long period of time. You get what I'm saying? He got what, two baby mamas, right?
I don't
So
know,
I
two,
can't,
three, I don't know. But
yeah, but my thing is this,
either way.
I can't take relationship advice from him. I tell people this. Let me hear a relationship conversation from like a Denzel Washington, who's been with Washington with his wife forever. Not the Will Smith and Jada, not them. Can't use them. They have an
You
open
can't use
relationship.
them no more.
Messy as hell. You get what I'm saying? Let's use a good, healthy black couple and base
Right.
relationship off on that. I never heard any of them say angry black women. It's always these single dudes who messing with black and white women, whatever. All the women talking about, oh, black women are angry. Nah, man, you just soft. That's what it really comes down to it. That's my right. But go ahead, ask your question.
That was,
Yeah,
I mean, there's some, some people in the chat that are saying
I can't read
that
it.
black women are angry, but then there are some people that are saying that, yes, anger is a natural emotion, which I agree with. So I'm not saying in the literal term of like, do you get angry? Of course, we all get angry. I guess
Facts.
what I'm talking about is this kind of myth that black women are angry, and that's like we're our own enemy. Like we're the reason why we're not in relationships, why we're not getting married, why we're not being chosen. And if that's the case, why do you feel that black women are that way? Because his thing was, what you said, you didn't hear it, but what his thing was that black women like basically pushing back at him because he chooses to date non-black women, and he's like, oh, so when they start to come at him, he gets defensive, and his thing is like, oh, here comes that angry black woman shit.
See
And
what? No, go ahead, go ahead, go
no,
ahead, go
and
ahead.
that to me is so there's a couple of issues there. You can be with whoever you want to be with. To promote it as if this is better than this regular stuff over here, that
Right.
is the problem. It's not that you can't be with who you want to be with.
Facts.
When you start to promote it like, oh, it's better than that stuff you see all the time in the hood. I'm gonna say all the time in the hood, I've seen some beautiful people, beautiful black people. So it's and I said this a little while ago, like, and to people outside of the U.S. or outside of black nations and countries, we are exotic because they don't get to see us all the time. So black is
Right.
exotic to them. So I say all that to say, like, why do black men label our emotion or our expression of emotion as angry? Because I think what a lot of women were agreeing with what you said is that when you are not doing something, because okay, I'm going there, but
Go in, go
black
in.
black women, in my opinion, and you guys as black women in the chat can tell me if you agree with me, historically are very conservative. Like, like, for example, the whole feminist thing, that's not really our thing. That's really, it's a white woman thing. But
Facts.
we understand it, but for the most part, we want a male to lead the household. We want a male to be the head of the house. And we are
Facts.
comfortable with that as long as the man is not driving us off of a cliff. You know what I'm saying? As long
Right.
as you are steering us in a direction that is healthy and supportive for ourselves and our family, we have no problem being submissive. That is a myth. Black women are extremely loyal. Black women have been submissive for a zillion billion years, and we have the right to say when you're not leading us right or you're not treating us right. We have the right to say, nah, bro, I'm not accepting that. I'm not going to accept that. I'm not going to still come around and treat you like this king when you're not acting like one. You acting like the joker of the court, not the king. So, I say all that to say, like, so that's where the frustration comes from, these type of comments, at least for me.
No, I get it.
Okay.
No, I get it. I mean, it's frustration for me as being a black man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get upset as far as all these black athletes, right? These black athletes play football, basketball, sports, whatever, right? And if you look at their whole background, how they come up, right? They come from the project. They come from the hood.
Okay, some of them do. Okay.
Yes, some of them do. But what I'm saying is that when I played, I mean, of course I'm not a pro player, but I did play sports, basketball, football, all that. The boy I grew up with was all black women. I was raised by a black woman. I dated black women. So as soon as I get famous or rich, first thing I want to do is drop a black woman and give me a white girl on the show, on my arm, so I could be in the in crowd. But then go around town and say, "Oh, you black women, oh, they always angry." No, man, you just weak. You get what I'm saying? So that's the problem I have with all these famous athlete people who go out there, become famous, but then date a marry a white woman. They complain when they should take half. Nah, bro, that's all your fault. Because, I mean, you look at the bigger picture, they're taking the black wealth out of the black community. Because at the end of the day, when you marry a white woman and she take half, that money goes back into the white community. It doesn't stay in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me you can't find a black sister, black queen to raise up and build an empire with?
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem I have.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as like 50, and I ain't trying to base off 50, but 50's coming from a point of where he dealing with a black woman, his baby mama, that he has a good relationship with, right? So he basing his whole overall experience about black women based off her. But at the end of the day, you chose her. She was who she was at always. You were the one that changed or didn't work it out. But the fact that black men go out there promote and say, "Oh yeah, black woman this, black woman that," nah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Most dudes who say that or go with the white woman because they can get over on a white woman. I'm calling what it is. I dated black and white. I'm married. I'm married to a black woman, ladies. First off, I'm married. I have a black wife, so let's keep it all the way 100. But I did date a white woman, and I got away with murder. Like I would do whatever, and I deal with nothing. And so I'll say this: black women will hold you more accountable than white women will. You can get away with murder with white women. That's simple facts.
From your
So when
experience.
dudes say, from my experience. So you know what I'm saying? So that's where some of that stuff comes from.
Do you feel, and I'm asking you this,
go ahead.
I'm going to ask, the rest of everybody else too. Do you feel that when you hear people make these type of statements, like I forget there was another controversy, like even with Kodak Black, that's a whole other thing. But Kodak Black was talking about the colorism issue, right? Do you feel that is coming from a place of self-hate?
Yeah.
Like you don't feel that your black skin, your black hair, your black features are good enough or beautiful enough that you must mix it with something else that you find to be more beautiful because that will bring up your self-worth. Because to me, that's what it sounds like. Like if I'm 50 or anybody who, let's say, has that type of power, stature, money, whatever, that you should be secure enough in yourself that it doesn't matter who you have on your arm. You know what I mean? Like, it's me. I'm 50, It's like my cousins and I say, nobody come to see you, Otis. Like, they get here to see me. It doesn't matter about you. So that to me kind of says, like, what does 50 really think about himself? What does Lil Wayne really think about himself? Or any man that feels like that would value being with a non-black woman more so than being with a black woman. And I'm not saying that you have to, so I just want to be clear about that. I don't think you have to. I'm saying, like, the value put on women who are not black or who are partially black or whatever, this exotic thing.
Light skin, dark skin, all that. I get it.
Dark skin, whatever. Yeah.
No. And I mean, yes, that's the question. So
I agree.
So yes. So self-love is definitely a part of it, but then we got to look at the root cause. How did we get there? I'm gonna tell you how we get there. Over 400 years of slavery. That's how we got there. Because when you look at slavery, of course, the darker you are, you're gonna be out in the field. The more lighter you is, you're gonna be considered the house nigga. You'll be on the porch telling everybody else. You're gonna get treated a little better than everybody else. So during that 400 years of slavery, the dark-skinned people envied the light-skinned people. Not because they wanted to, because in the condition that was brought into America, right? It's called what it is. Because it brought into America. So you talking about 400 years of brainwash, all that conditioning. So even now, even this day and age, slavery's over, but people, I hear dudes say it all the time, "Oh man, I prefer me a light-skinned girl over a dark-skinned girl," or it'd be a beautiful dark-skinned girl, but oh man, she's too dark. I'm like, what? And boys is conditioned that way. Boys like the light and bright. Simple as that, because it makes them fit in. You know what I'm saying? It makes them look better. So, but it comes down to that slavery.
Right.
And then, of course, from there, self-love. You know what I'm saying? Females want to be darker. I mean, look at Michael Jackson. He was dark-skinned. Man, but just came to light skin. Rest in peace, Michael. We love him to death. But he was dealing with self-love. You know what I'm saying? Self-hate, whatever you want to call it. Because he didn't like his dark skin, his big nose, all that. Even people now, people always want to change their physical appearance to fit in a certain way instead of loving themselves.
Right. Right.
So yeah.
Because I think, and even one of my friends who's in the chat, she had a conversation on live last week about do black women feel protected by black men? And what I can say about this whole thing that I didn't really see, we didn't really see, like, we see black women coming for 50 and Lil Wayne, but we didn't really see the black men coming for him. And it gets justified or explained away.
Right.
And I think that's kind of where the reinforcement happens, that like, y'all really don't care. You know what I'm saying? Y'all really don't care. Like, we are, like,
And that's the problem right there.
And y'all really don't care.
And that's the problem. We don't have men check other men. That's it right there.
Yeah. And it's not that we're saying all men. Obviously, that's not true. But like, where were the black men coming out the woodwork? Like, the black women come out the woodwork for black men every single day, right? Saying, so we're not gonna do that, 50. We're not even gonna do that. We're not even gonna play like that. It's not funny. That shit y'all said wasn't cute. Like, and it's not that he can't have a preference, right? You can have your preference. It's just what I prefer. I get a lot of pushback about why I like this. Is just what I like. There's nothing wrong with that. Conversation would not have caught no backlash. But the whole thing about, oh, it's different than what you see in the hood and this and that and the fact that about the angry black women, that black women are angry. I've even seen some men say that black women are just jealous or bitter. And it's like, one quote I saw recently that I thought was like, wow, said that someone said that I feel really bad for black women because they birth their enemies. They give birth to their enemies. And it's like, yo, that's kind of crazy when you think about it, right? Like, of course, we're not talking about every single situation, but the fact that you can come from a black woman, black man, you can come from a black woman, but then disrespect a black woman, that is problematic. And when we talk about like a black agenda, right? Like, to me, the base of a black agenda, my cousin said, look at how Terry Crews threw Gabby Union under the bus when for him to stand by her.
But look at Terry Crews, though. He got a white wife. So, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Think about that for a minute.
Well, she's mixed, I think. I think she's half black and half white. Birthing enemies extreme. Of course, of course, it's an extreme thing. But I'm saying that what the person was saying, which I understood, was that you can raise up a man as a black woman, raise up a black man for a black man to then kind of like dislike you. Not you like his mother, but in a way, yes, because you want to go get something else to make you feel more important or feel validated. So it's kind of a slap in the face for your black mama. You know
it is.
It's not that you have to. No one has to. You can date whoever you want to. Thank God for that now. Before you couldn't do that. But that's also part of the conditioning. If I was always taught that this is what's beautiful, but this is what, imagine if we flipped it and everything that you saw that was beautiful, whether it was being advertised, was black features, which is now the norm, right? Because now everybody's trying to look like us. But imagine if that was from mainstream for all the same amount of years that it was the other way around, then people would be flocking to us. But we don't get promoted in that way, right? We get sexualized, right? We're sexualized. But, and that's what people get so mad about the Kardashians, because they have taken black culture, black look, black everything, and made it mainstream, and now it's sexy, it's this, it's that. But if I do that, if I wear those same outfits, it's scandalous. They were talking about Michelle Obama's clothes because she's hippie and has booty, that it was inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yes, when black women push back and we fight back, it's like we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to just be docile. Yes, sir. No. We've never been that.
So think about this. So you asked the question. You said, "How come the other
folks think twice?"
So think about this. You said, we don't have other black men like checking 50, right?
I think that somebody told me today that somebody did give a response and say like, nah, we not jacking that.
Oh,
So
somebody
like
did?
not on a
Okay.
wide scale.
Well, of course, because it's probably not as big as 50. You know what I'm saying? 50 can say anything and it goes. But I'm saying though, but if you think about it, before I got to respond to whoever the person was, I got to look it up, right? But when you think about it, what men out there you think should check 50? You get what I'm saying?
Um,
Who can speak from a point of being one in a happy black relationship, married or not, right? Still happy relationship with a black woman, not constantly degrading black women. You get what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? What leaders out there of black men do we have that's going to really speak up and say, no, 50, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think 50 is a special case because people I think are afraid of the wrath of 50.
Right, we know.
Like
Wait,
they're
yeah, he
afraid
petty.
of the dragging that will commence. So I think I saw this very briefly, so I don't want to speak too much on it, but like I saw that show where Vivica Fox and Claudia Jordan are on, that Vivica was speaking on it and he dragged Vivica, right? So whatever they used to
Oh,
do
yes.
or whatever. And that again, saying again about another like an angry black woman, right? And which he has said over the years about Vivica. And whether it's true or not, I don't know. Of course, we don't know their relationship, but like that's kind of like the card that this is played. Like how people love to say like people play the race card, but that's the card that's played with black women. Like you're angry. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
why y'all ain't got no man. That's why you guys are single mothers. That's why this. That's why that. Because you're angry. But
Well, it's
shouldn't we
angry
be
and also
angry?
the system,
Shouldn't we
too.
be angry if we are left to fend for ourselves? Shouldn't we be angry if we are every time when it can be like, okay, I'm gonna, being chosen or being put up on a pedestal, you choose another. Shouldn't after a while you start to get angry?
Yeah. I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with
Yes,
that.
and like my cousin saying, when black women say exactly what black men say to us, we're breaking them down. We're making them look bad. But it's not, it's not great. I should be able to, right? If we're going to be strong as a foundation, as a unit, I should be able to say to you the things that are not being done right. I should be able to hold you accountable and be all right with that. No, like I should be able to say like, okay, I expected you to lead us. I expected you to be the head of the house. And maybe that doesn't have to always be finances. So it's not about that. It's about like how you represent yourself and how you position yourself in this family. I should be able to check you or question you when that's not happening. But if you want to be coddled because you want to be treated like a king when you're not acting like one, then yeah, I think that's where the problem lies. That's where the problem lies. Look at 50's mother. 50's mom, yeah. I mean, 50's mom is, and I don't know. I mean, I know his mother got murdered. There was some issues there. Maybe that's part of his issues. Maybe he got some mommy issues. I don't know.
But
But I don't
let's
want
say
us to
this.
get
Let's
caught
say
up on
this.
50 because 50's
Right.
not the only one that has felt like that. Like I said, I was in
Yeah,
with my
exactly.
college friends. They're all very educated men, and they were all pretty much saying the same thing.
Right.
A lot of black men are choosing to date, Asian women, white women, or Latinas because of this notion that black women are too angry, and though the women of those cultures are kind of taught or raised in a way to be more submissive to the men. And it just to me seems like a farce. And then that when black women start to push back and get angry at that, I think there was some issue even when the chick that I can't think of her name, but that was with Joe Budden, and she made the comment about like, that's why black men love, Spanish women. Like she got dragged a little bit for that because that's something that people hear. That's detrimental, right? Because here she is, she's black. I mean, she's black because I believe she's Dominican, but she's
Right.
Latina, and she's repeating something that she has heard, right?
Taught.
Which is negative, and that's what women are saying. That's what black women are saying. Like we gotta change that narrative. We have to change that narrative. You should be speaking of us, even if you prefer to be with a Latina. That's fine. But but especially when you're in a public figure, don't drag us. Don't drag us. Don't do that.
That's true because you never
We're
hear
on the battle
any.
lines. We're on the battle lines. Don't do that.
Yeah,
We've been
cause
on the battle lines for y'all. Don't do that.
yeah, cause you never hear white women, Asian, Chinese, whatever. You never hear any of
Exotic
them
is
getting
code for
dragged.
submissive, I hear.
It's always black men dragging a black woman, and that's the narrative being pushed.
Yeah. Yeah. Trauma. I agree with you, Shanae. Trauma. Shouldn't have to tear us down to lift them up. Agreed. Agreed. I just feel like how do we get that back in order, right? So how do we tear down that whole notion of an angry black woman, right? How do we do that so that the family can be stronger? And again, and that's just for those who choose to be with black women, because at the end of the day, we are in a free country. There are not those laws anymore that prohibit interracial marriage and interracial dating. So what can we do to uplift and strengthen that bond? But it has to start with us breaking the way that we communicate is problematic, I guess. We're not taking the time to understand each other when we're the only, like, really and truthfully, black women and black men are the only ones that really can't understand each other.
You said we can't.
Only ones that
Can. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yes, because we come from the same struggle. We come from the same place, So it's kind of, my family and I, we talk about Kanye, for example. And I don't want to miss this comments. It's funny because in the conversations with women of other races and ethnicities, they would say that they are not raised to be submissive, which is an absolute farce. Black women love hard and get crapped on the hardest. It's disgusting. Thank you, Jason, for saying that. The media plays the biggest part. There's literally a movie called The Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Agreed. And it's not
Tyler
just black
Perry.
media. It's not just black media. It's not just black media. It's,
It's all media.
when I was writing spoken word, I wrote something about that. Like, either we're angry or we're the grieving mother. So we're either the angry woman, the grieving mother, or the over-sexualized woman. That's our roles. Like, we're so
Or
much bigger
ratchet
than
or
that.
ghetto.
You know what I mean? Like, you either see us as a mother crying because, my son was killed. They show us crying. They show us in a sexualized way. Are we angry? When the black women that I know, like, my job is primarily black women, come to work, they bust their ass. The women in my family, they bust their ass every day, without black men, raising their children without them. And that's not that's all situations. I'm saying I see it all the time. I see the strength and the resiliency of black women, that we continue to keep pushing. And we continue to keep loving on black men, regardless of how much they have dashed
Crap
us
on us.
away.
Mm-hmm.
Black women are framed to be seen as negative. I agree. So I guess I'm just saying it's not all the media. Somebody said we also have Maury Jerry Springer. I agree. And what is that? What are we shown at on those shows? Those shows that are not, they're not people that we would say we even see on a day-to-day basis, but that's what's being shown on the media. So that's the association, because this is nationwide, right? These things are being played all over the country.
So let me ask you this. What was your thoughts, just the overall thought process, when Snoop went on Red Table, right? Talking about the whole situation, right? So, it was the whole ghetto thing, right? Now, most men, black men, right? They look at that as the black woman tearing the black man down. I'm not saying what Snoop said was wrong or right, whatever, in a case like that. What I'm saying is that men look at that like, see, this black woman getting tearing black men down. But not once you ever seen any white person on Red Table getting chewed up by the black woman. What's your thoughts on that?
Okay, so Gail was out of pocket for the comments about Kobe.
Kobe,
Out of
facts.
pocket, wrong timing, whatever. You could try to frame it under the thing of journalism, right, and telling a whole story, but you don't do that at the time, especially when someone just died. I felt that was very disgusting. I've heard it do.
Facts.
Did Snoop need to call her whatever he called, a nappy head hoe and
Right.
this bitch and that bitch. No. First and foremost, that's your elder. First and foremost, right?
Respect elder.
Second,
Right.
respect. There's a level of respect. Second of all, that's still a black woman. And there's a way to be respectful about it, right? There's a way to be respectful, to respectfully check Gail, right? And but it's kind of like, it's so easy. And I think that's what, so there was two points. Because even my mother called me very upset. Like, did you hear how Snoop talked about Gail? She was very angry.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. So when everybody would have been the same, everybody felt the same way if it would have been Kobe's wife to call her a nappy head woman. Would y'all felt the same way? But then
If
again, she's not black
Kobe's
really,
wife,
so yeah.
no, she couldn't do it either.
Or just a black woman. Period. Calling
No,
out that same way that Snoop did it.
no,
So
no,
you've been cool with that.
no, no.
No, so you still feel the same way.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
go ahead, continue. I want to hear your
The
thought.
comment itself was bad by anyone saying it. Wrong,
Right.
wrong,
I'm not
wrong.
saying I agree with either. But I want to hear your thought because I don't speak to many women who have the open mind dialogue, have a conversation.
Yeah, no, it's wrong. I feel like that particular situation, Snoop is Snoop, right? So there's a lot of people that listen to you. So you don't call
Facts.
the black elderly woman, not elderly, but your black elder, no nappy headed hoe or no nappy headed bitch. None of that. None of that. And no black man should have ever jacked that. Somebody should say, yo, bro, you dead. I mean, I believe somebody did, probably his mama, right? His mother was
Right.
all the way out of pocket.
Maybe wife.
So that's why he went on his tour, his apology tour, right, to take back what he said. But you had already put that in the universe, and I think the fact that it's so easy to do that is kind of where exactly the black woman is talking about. Like, herein lies the problem. Herein lies the problem. Where is that level of respect? Where? Where? And it's not all men, obviously. It's not all men. The issue with Snoop is that he went directly for the insults that are levels at that are leveled at the black women consistently. Agreed. He used things that he knew would sting, but
Right.
he knew that as a black man that would sting a black woman. So he went there. I agree with you, Adrian. That's what happens to Boosie. Got checked by his black mother. Especially since it had nothing to do with what made him angry with Kobe. Exactly. The things that he insulted her about really had nothing to do with but I got why. And I think everyone was outraged. We were collectively outraged with what Gail said.
Right.
We were collectively outraged. So it's the same thing. It's kind of like, okay, so I know I'm going to reach here because I know we talked about angry black women, but I'm going to switch this for a second. Just for a second. R. Kelly. Now, if you had followed me from back then, you know that I went on a rant about R. Kelly because it was really troubling to me to see how many people were like still in support of R. Kelly, and what was, some people even went as far to say, oh, these the black girls knew what they was getting into, like they basically, like, they were being fast and they wanted to mess with R. Kelly. And so now it's like we're gonna vilify R. Kelly. We're gonna tear down another black man, and that is this is again why we black women are saying we don't feel protected, because you have a black man who's exploiting black children, right? Black children that impacts generations. Because this is what I'm thinking. Those things have lasting impacts on children. Like if you start to trauma, like children start to experience trauma from young, how they experience black men. Now when they become parents or they, in their adulthood, that impacts generation after generation after generation. So if you have a man, regardless of how good his music is, that prays and takes advantage of black women and black girls, why are we not collectively outraged? Why are we gonna blame the black woman and say she fast? Where was her mama? Where the hell R. Kelly mama? You know what I'm saying? Where his mama at? Why? Where's his daddy? How about that? We vilify black women all the time, when in fact they needed protection. They need protection. The black men should have been banging down that door to drag them girls out of R. Kelly's house. Collectively, like, nah, we're not going for that. The same way black men was hurt with Kobe dying, that's the same energy we need when it comes to issues that impact us. You know what I mean?
Listen,
And that to me was like a prime example of black men saying they really don't give a damn.
well, no. I'm not saying they don't give a damn, because, of course, what Kelly done is bad. But let's keep it all the way at 100 right now. A buck. Right now, there's a guy in high school who's a senior who's talking to a freshman who's 16 years under. Is that not R. Kelly or not? Minus all the piss and all the other funny shit. Let's keep it a buck. There's a 19-year-old senior talking to a 16-year-old or 15-year-old freshman. Not just talking, more than talking.
Okay. 19 and 16 is different than 33 and 15.
Like I said, that's not one that we know of. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying, but that we know of, right? The one girl he pissed on, right?
No,
the one girl we know.
We know of Aaliyah. Aaliyah was 15 years old.
Okay, but they got married and everything. I mean, apparently everybody knew back then, and no one said a damn thing back then. They knew Aaliyah was for age.
He's making them money, and that's what I'm saying about the protection.
See, that's the problem. So money's involved. It's cool. All right, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say that. It's cool, but it's right, wrong is wrong, right is right, right? But when I'm saying that, the reason why you have a lot of black men, like you said, trying to tear down R. Kelly's house and pulling girls out, because a lot of dudes got girls in the house right now underage.
But that's a problem. But that's all problematic. That's all problematic, right? And so when black women speak on these things, it's not to tear down black men. It's not to be angry. It's not to be bitter. It's not to make people look bad. But we got to call a spade, because I should be able to feel the most safe and the most comfortable when I'm with the black man. Not afraid. I shouldn't feel afraid and alone, because a lot of times, like what my cousin brought up about, like, for example, the Terry Crews thing with Gabrielle Union, whether or not you felt that was your experience, the fact that Gabby said, I don't feel that I'm being supported, especially because if I want to style my hair a certain way or whatever, as a black man, the only other person in this room that can understand what I'm saying is you. The white man can't understand, like, okay, my hair and how that may offend people or how it may look on TV to some people. But you could understand that? You, Terry Crews. You. And the fact that you're like, I don't know, I don't have that issue. I don't know. You invalidated her. And that's what a lot of times when you hear black women saying, like, we need to feel protected too. We need that. We need the validation. Like, we need it, like, okay, I'm here. I got you. Even if you don't understand the experience directly because you're a man and this is a woman. But to understand that we got to be united in some things, we got to stand together, you know? And in those ways, I brought up R. Kelly. Like I said, I know that's a whole completely separate thing because there's a lot of mental health going on.
Right, a lot.
And a lot of trauma. But I'm saying in the sense of how people responded back then to it.
Right.
Oh, nobody said nothing about Epstein or this one or that one. They did. That's how we know about it. That's how we know about the sexual abuse in the Catholic Church. That's how we know about it. They did say something about it. So we don't need you to make excuses for R. Kelly's bad behavior. What we need is that black men in a
collective as a whole,
right, stand against it. And I think for the most part the black community has. So I'm not saying that hasn't happened, but the fact that we have seen so many people making excuses. But I agree that they were saying, like, oh, it's because they probably have themselves dated younger girls, you know, and don't want to feel like, oh, am I a predator? Yeah. 16 and 19, because you can be 19 and still in high school, you know what I mean? But if you're 21 years old talking to somebody in high school, I got a problem with that. You know, like, there's levels, and R. Kelly was at another level. He was at another level of predatory behavior. And I think it's just as a collective, we have to be able to say that it's not tearing down a black man, but we got to call it what it is. And we have to say that behavior is unacceptable for our community. You know what I mean? And without it being an attack on all black men everywhere.
No, I get that 100%. We got to hold our people accountable for their actions. And like I said, it shouldn't be like, oh, why is black women tearing black men down? No, we got to take care of us. That's all we got is us.
Right.
No one else is going to come in and speak to us about X, Y, Z.
Right.
When they talk about R. Kelly, they tearing him down. Cool, because he's a black man.
Right.
But white people are talking about him and tearing him down more. But we as black, like I said, we come together and like nip that shit in the bud early.
Right. I agree. I agree. If people would have checked it then. Okay, not to defend it all, but R. Kelly did have grown women who was as well taking part in group sex with minors. Simultaneously, I don't agree to say that the young girls are fast, but I think the problem, or are you saying that is the problem? I'm not quite sure. But, okay, with that, if you get, and I mean for the guys again, and us women who have dated older guys, when your mind, especially as a teenage mind, and you get to mess with a celebrity, a famous guy, and then, you know, you start to get, you're kind of conditioned in that. You're conditioned in that. And then now, here you are, as an adult, so now you're 19, and R. Kelly introduces a new 14-year-old into the mix. You're already conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's been
training for the
conditioning
road.
you from the time you were 14. So, again, to say, well, you were an adult, you knew better, you kind of know, but you know better because you know right from wrong, but you have also been conditioned by a predator, right? Like, even the language matters. I mean, and I'm a little bit off topic of what we're supposed to be talking about, but like, language matters. To say that the girls had sex with R. Kelly, but the girls had sex with, no, they were children. They were minors. They don't get the shoes. He, the adult, was choosing to have sex with the child. Language matters, not they were choosing it with them. And that, again, is what vilifies the females. It vilifies the female. Not that a grown-ass man was choosing to make these, to make improper and inappropriate decisions. And if we call that out, why then do we get labeled as bitter or angry? Money will make allowances when it shouldn't be. I agree, Adrian. I agree. I mean, so I guess the point of what all this is just like, how, as a unit, black women and black men, even if it's not just a relationship, because it doesn't have to be a relationship, right? But just as black people, how do we get to a better communication between us? How do we get there? And that's not just for you, but everybody else that's here. I see you in here getting your workout on.
Oh yeah, you know. I mean, it's going to start with the home. It's going to start at home, right? And it really got to be. We need men to be in the house, meaning that families. You know what I'm saying? When men are taken out the house, you know, whatever case may be, killed, leave, divorce, whatever case may be, right? When men are taken away, most real men, I ain't gonna say all men, but most real men is so vital and important when it comes to raising boys and girls, especially little girls. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you take the father out the house, and then let's say the mother is dating multiple dudes, all the little girls seeing is dudes coming in. You understand what I'm saying? Vice versa. Dudes who had the kids, they have multiple girls coming in. You get what I'm saying? And most times, you know, most men don't know when, or both parties don't know when they should introduce a new person around the kids. Like, some things should be not seen. You understand what I'm saying? But kids, when they're small, they soak up everything you see. They soak up everything that they see.
Agreed.
So they see you run around with multiple men, multiple women. They think it's okay because they see you doing it. So it got to start at home. It got to start at home.
That's
Simple as that.
That's what I see. I see what he's saying. He's saying starts at home, stronger father, and not father figures. And we need to vet females better. Honestly, and I mean, the women may chop me down for this, but I agree with you. We can't date people, which is what is problematic about the comments about exotic, right? Is that we can't date people for looks. We can't date people for status or position. We have to, because like we see the post all the time. Her mindset will not raise your kids.
Facts.
I mean, her looks won't raise your kids. Her mindset will. That's what I mean.
I got you.
We have to be very, very particular. Period. On both sides. Women can't just pick men because whatever, you know, they got money.
Right, he balling.
And also, it's not just about like who you bring around. but also like how the interactions happen between the man and the woman in the home. In the home. I
Right.
think we need to show our children how to have healthy relationships. That's exactly what I was just saying, Desiree. This includes showing them how to resolve conflicts respectfully. Exactly. It's exactly what I was thinking. Like in
Facts.
the house, you said you're married. So imagine if every time you and your wife got into an argument, you would call her all type of bitch and hoe, right? So your daughter or your son would grow up, your daughter would grow up thinking that this is okay because if my
Mm-hmm.
daddy can call my mom a bitch and a hoe, then what's to stop the dude that she's gonna come in contact with from calling her a bitch and a hoe and accepting it?
Facts.
And creating a male who's gonna go out and date that's going to then think it's okay to interact with women like that. So it starts from there, right? Because if you start to see that there are healthy relationships, so I agree with you, Desiree. Agree with you 1,000%. If you if we show it in the house first, then when the kids go out into the world, when they grow up into young adulthood and adulthood, the way that they're going to interact should be very different, right? It should look different. So you wouldn't think that, okay, black women are angry. You wouldn't even that wouldn't be your experience.
Facts.
You wouldn't
Facts.
know. You would say, well, where did that come from? Where do you get that?
Right.
And
I mean,
even when women are questioning and challenging men in their roles, that is not taken as being angry, because like I saw Adrian say, accountability and honest conversations. We have to, as a people, be able to have honest conversations with each other, and it not be taken as you're not trying to be submissive. What does that even mean? What is submissive? What is submissive? So I don't know. I think I think I'm going to see. Adrian, do you mind if I add you on the live? Get a female. I want to get a female.
uh-oh.
I want to get a female's perspective. Only just because, I think that it's important for, black men to hear from black women. My
Facts.
my cousin line, all of my mother's siblings, kids is mostly women. Like we have a couple of guys, but it's mostly females. And we talk about these type of things all the time, like what impacts us, like the things that impact us and why black men don't seem to like hear us. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that about? And I think that it's important that while you're here, and there's some other black men in this live, that they get to hear not just from me chatting it up, but also from black women and their experience. So, do you mind? All right. So I'm gonna end with you. I'm gonna get on with her.
Thank you.
No problem. Don't go nowhere.
I'll be here. I ain't going nowhere.
Okay.